dust storm, man.
Nobody calls Han Solo a bitch.
Bring him on. I prefer a straight fight to all this sneaking around.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
Oh, come on, bro. It's the wars.
So Disney Plus Day has come and gone, and I think one message that got across is that Disney no longer thinks Star Wars is their golden goose. This is The Wars and More. I'm Joe. Of course, with me is my good buddy Doug. Hey, Doug, how you doing this week?
Doing pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Well, disappointed, I think, would be a good word.
Yeah, I tend to agree because I was really looking forward to this Disney Plus Day thing, and I gotta say I was left feeling a little bit like left out, I guess.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess Marvel makes more money.
Right.
Yeah, I was scrolling through the list. It's like, Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett thingy.
Yeah.
Marvel.
Right.
So yeah, I was a little shocked. And then they special look, right? Special look.
Yes.
Well, special meaning, we threw some pictures in there on everything else we've already showed you.
Right. Yes.
So, all right. So let's run down the two items we got from Disney Plus Day regarding Star Wars. We're starting off on a great note.
Yeah, exactly.
Just bitter.
Yeah, but I think it's warranted.
It's just, so you got this slate, right, for Star Wars. You got two shows that have already wrapped filming.
Right.
No shows. Just relatively no show.
Exactly.
Well, I should say three shows, right? Because you got Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
Andor.
Yep.
And Kenobi.
Right.
All of them are done filming.
Yeah. They should all be, in different stages of post at this point. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. You got absolutely zero new footage from any of those shows.
Right. So, okay. I am not the first one to say this, so just throwing that out there, but I have to agree with the sentiment. Why didn't they just hold off on the Boba Fett trailer until this thing, the Disney Plus Day? Because it would have given us a little something more to be excited about, I mean, I'm
because
glad
they didn't want a big Star Wars look affecting Marvel Day.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. I guess you're right. I didn't watch the Marvel stuff, so sorry.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Oh.
I just saw it was there.
Okay.
I did my typical, scrolling through the list. Yeah, don't care.
Right.
Click.
Yeah.
So, the one that seemed to be the most in your face was the Home Alone.
Oh, right.
Home Sweet Home, like the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, that's how they titled all the Spider-Man movies, right?
Yeah, it had something to do with like home. Yeah.
Home. Yeah. So I assumed it was another Spider-Man movie. Apparently, it's based on the Macaulay Culkin stuff. So
right.
Yeah. I don't know. Speechless.
Yeah. I don't know. So what do we get?
Let's get to it.
Yeah. What do you want to hit first? We got the
Well, let's do the Boba Fett.
Yeah.
The what is it? The Legacy or
under the
Behind the
helmet.
helmet.
Under the
Yeah.
helmet, right?
Under the helmet.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
To me, I thought the most notable thing in this
Yep.
was a relatively nice tribute to Jeremy Bullock.
Agreed. That was nice. It was nice to see, you know, how much of a spotlight they put on him and you know, his part in playing the character, for sure.
I mean, and they really did put a spotlight too on how he was really one of the first to be that engaged with things.
Right.
You know, he was the convention staple, right? Like,
Oh, yeah.
he was your Star Wars presence at conventions.
Right.
This is long before, you know, your big cast would start showing up.
Yep.
You know, really it was, you know, like Jeremy Bullock. It was, you know, your cast of the Clone Wars eventually.
Right.
That jump-started what has become the modern Star Wars celebration, right? Like,
Exactly. That's,
you know, the first celebrations, the big cast was there because they were promotion.
right.
You know, they were there to promote the prequels.
Absolutely. So, I guess, you know, there was a lot of, I don't know what you would call it, historical stuff about Boba Fett. I mean, did you learn anything you didn't know, or anything like that? I mean,
Yeah, another thing that was doubled down on, and I
yeah,
like that they did this. Your friend that claimed they had the rocket firing Boba Fett was full of shit.
right. This is true. No, really, I actually got one in the mail. No, you didn't.
Didn't. You got a letter.
Yes. I love
You
that.
probably didn't even get that.
I love that Steve Sansweet actually had the letter too. And it's no surprise, but I loved it.
I mean, what he probably didn't show is he's probably still got the envelope.
Right. I'm not sure. I think that letter might have actually come in the box.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I didn't realize he had one of each, though.
Yeah. The L shape and the J shape slots.
Yeah, the L and the J. Yeah.
Yep.
Like, whoa, that's
Yeah. Pretty cool.
money right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he had one of the rocket fire. I didn't know he had an L and a J. Like,
yeah.
wow. That is a pretty awesome collection, man.
Right.
Because that's almost as rare as it gets right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just about. I mean, I'm sure there's some other stuff out there that's even more rare, but like rare and valuable, I should say.
Yeah.
Other than the screen used props, which he has some.
Yes. I was going to say, yeah, that stuff is not out of bounds at Rancho Obi-Wan either. That's for sure.
So, I guess I didn't know how early they rolled out the character.
Right.
That was interesting thing to find out, that the character was actually unveiled at a local parade.
Right. That's the kind of thinking that George does, though. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he's like, well, there's going to be this parade and I can probably get some exposure. You know, hey, go grab some of these costumes from the prop department and, you know, it's the kind of stuff like that starts a buzz and a frenzy about, you know, his stuff that, you know, other studios and people in the biz might not think about, you know?
Right. But yeah, other than that, I didn't see too much revealed.
Right. There really wasn't a whole lot to it. I mean, it was cool. It reminds me of something like that you would see in a what do you call it? Like a the bonus disc of a DVD or something.
Yeah, I mean, really, what I say this was good for, and in all honesty, the impact it would have is on young Star Wars fans coming in, starting to get super interested, right, in Star Wars. They've seen, got introduced via Resistance or
Right.
Clone Wars or whatever show, and have gone back and started watching the older movies. Now they're getting a little bit of history, new release history, right?
Yes.
That kind of sheds light on what it was like then. That's what it was good for. It was good for young fans.
Absolutely. I agree.
And new fans. I shouldn't just say young fans. Young fans and new fans. Those who it never quite caught their fancy until now.
Right.
This was a good thing for that.
Yeah.
And I would say if I didn't know anything about the character of Boba Fett, yeah, this would be great. About the character's history.
Right.
I should say. Pointing out the fact that the character, only had 6 minutes of screen time and 4 lines of dialogue, right? Like
exactly. Yeah.
But yet blew up and had become one of the most popular Star Wars characters of all time.
Absolutely. But you and I have talked about that alone is part of the mystique of Boba Fett. The fact that we didn't know a whole lot about Boba Fett, and that's I guess that's my one fear about this show coming up is that we're going to learn too much.
Right.
And
it's not that it would like break Star Wars or anything. That's not our complaint.
No.
Our concern. It's just, it takes that mystery away, that interest in a character because of their mystery. Like that's why I was interested in Boba Fett for so many years and had this, like cult love of the character, right? Like,
right. Like
because,
so many people did.
Like, who is he? He looks awesome. It looks like he can do some really cool stuff, but we haven't seen any of it. Like,
right.
That mystery was very appealing. And I gotta say, it's really been like the Disney era of Star Wars. It's kind of, I won't say soured the character for me, but soured that mystery.
Right.
And they haven't even done anything really yet, but just
there's been a lot of talk about we're gonna do something, right? We're gonna give you that story, and we're gonna give you. It's like, okay, well, I don't know.
And really, my sourness all along was like this, like clamoring for a Boba Fett movie, and I'm like, what about this character screams it should have a feature film?
Exactly.
Like, in all honesty, probably be boring. Like, a show seems like it would be the better suited thing, but Boba Fett to me was always a character that seemed better suited to comic books or,
right,
a part in a novel, not a novel about them. Like a character that would show up in films as a secondary character.
Yeah.
I've never seen this character as a leading character in something I wanted to see as a leading, like, reveal all character.
Exactly. I mean, they're definitely turning him into that type of character, whether we want it or not. But I agree with what you're saying. It's I never said, this should be the way.
You know, heck, I'd even be fine with, continuing on, leave the helmet on, have Tim Morrison voice the character. You know what Tim Morrison looks like. We don't need to see Tim Morrison's face as Boba Fett.
Right.
Leave the helmet on.
Yeah, that'd work.
We should have never have seen Boba Fett's face as an adult.
That's interesting.
Leave the mystery there, man.
Yeah.
Leave the mystery there.
Yeah.
It's the whole reason why we're here.
That's right.
Quite literally. 4 lines of dialogue, 6 minutes of screen time. Never saw his face.
Right.
Saw him as a kid.
And that
Didn't take away from.
Right. That's different.
So, yeah. Was pretty much on par with what I was expecting.
Right.
Which was not a ton.
Now, I just want to throw this out there. Was it worth watching? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
This kind of content is always worth watching, but it wasn't like there was any big revelations or anything.
No. Like I said, I think, one, we're not the target audience here.
Right.
Which there's nothing wrong with that.
Agreed.
This would be a good thing for, older Star Wars fans to show their kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, want to know what it was like back in my day?
Kinda, yeah.
It gives a little bit of insight into why the character blew up, and it was that mystery. I mean, Dave Filoni was there to pretty much spell it out,
yeah.
So, and like I said, the nice little tribute there to Jeremy Bulloch.
Yeah, that was a nice touch that I really appreciated.
Really, the highlight of the
whole special. Yeah,
special. Yeah, I was gonna say episode. Special. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the highlight for me. Acknowledge the guy who made him famous.
Right.
So, all right. Obi-Wan.
Ah, yes.
This is the special look we were promised, right?
Right. Well, what'd you get to see?
Well, there was some concept art.
Well, yes.
Other than that,
yeah,
nothing.
That's
some lightsaber practice. I guess that was cool.
I will say I did appreciate that. It gave me the vibes of the behind the scenes stuff you saw for Revenge of the Sith. That was kind of cool. But this time they're wearing masks.
Yeah, I guess the big takeaways, from the dialogue and what they were saying. One, Obi-Wan and Vader are going to cross sabers.
Right.
Okay. 2, basically Obi-Wan's not going to stay put.
Not going to what? Stay put?
Stay put.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've had a strong belief that was going to be the case no matter what.
I understand that was the belief, but exile's one thing, roaming around the galaxy is another. So, concept art though.
Yeah, that's something
because apparently seeing Ewan in the robes as Obi-Wan, that's G-37 classified.
Right. Can't do that.
We can't see that yet.
Right.
That's no go. But we can see some concept art of what he might look like.
Yes. And of course, he's got to be riding in the EOP. So,
Yeah. So, of the concept art, what stood out to you? What?
Well, I mean, of course, there's the saber duel.
That's a big one.
I mean, I think we can actually glean a lot from these things, right? One thing that looked pretty cool was Vader's throne. Apparently he's got his own little actual throne like the Emperor kind of has,
Yeah, so I have some questions about this, right?
Sure.
So you see Vader's throne.
Yeah.
You see the look of his environment there. This is Mustafar, right? This is Vader's castle.
Right.
Okay. Then you go to the duel.
Right.
That's a very fiery background right there. We gonna duel on Mustafar again?
I'm not sure. It's possible.
And then my other question is the balls on this guy. Like he's gonna go to Mustafar?
This guy being Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan.
Well, I'm gonna say maybe.
like, oh man.
I'm gonna say a definite maybe, because, we, and this is where it gets a little tricky. You got to decipher what you know from episode 3 and episode 4, right? So, at the point in which we're going to be seeing Obi-Wan, he does not really know about Vader yet. Or he does, doesn't he? I don't know.
Yes.
That he's still alive.
Presumably.
Because he left him on the shores of the lava lake and, limbless, basically. Probably presuming he was going to meet his end there.
Yep.
So I'm guessing that once he catches wind of this, more machine than man now, Darth Vader, that's like, oh, guess I got some unfinished business.
Yeah, I'm going to go knock on his door, see what he's up to.
Right. And this is, we've talked about this, the whole episode 4 thing. It's like, you shouldn't have come back and all that,
Yep.
That's got to play into this somehow, I mean, now the art where they're actually clashing sabers there, I'm not sure where that's at, if that is Mustafar. I know it's supposed to give those Mustafar vibes, but I don't know. It could be, some of it almost looks like it could be pieces of a ship or something, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That might be going down or something. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, it kind of looks like rock in the background there.
It might be Mustafar. And
these catwalks, but the catwalks definitely give you kind of a ship vibe, right? Like
that's kind of what I was, yeah. But then you did have that kind of stuff on Mustafar, so
yep.
It very well could be, and it's kind of understandable for Obi-Wan, to try and correct his mistake, basically. Once he figures out Vader's still around, he's like, oh, okay, gotta go finish this.
If this guy has, the audacity to go to Mustafar to confront Vader, we better get a hello there.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
If it was audacity to plop down in the middle of everyone to say hi to Grievous.
Except I will say this about that. This is a little weightier, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
this is
But still,
Grievous was one of those characters that, you know, was he a threat? Yes. Was he a real threat? You know what I mean? They even said it. You know, Mace Windu says it. You know, Grievous always runs, you know.
right, but it's the line there, right? Like, what's Grievous's response when he drops down and says, "Hello there"? And think about what I'm saying here. You know, you are a bold one. Like,
yes.
yeah, this is like really adding to the audacity of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
If he's got the confidence to go strolling into Mustafar.
Hey, I don't know. I just feel like he's got to handle it, you know.
In all honesty, you know, his task on Tatooine was to protect Luke.
Right.
Going to Mustafar would be a very proactive approach.
You're right. You know, some people might say, well, that's putting himself in danger to where he can't protect Luke. On the other hand, he'd be taking out Luke's biggest threat if he's successful.
This is the one that would feel that connection the most, right? Like, would the Emperor be as able to pin down Luke without his connection to Vader? Like, it would be Vader that would be able to pin that connection down. You know, his relation to Luke.
Absolutely. Well, that's clear from Return of the Jedi. You know, I've felt his presence. Strange that I have not. Right.
Right. Well, he was the middleman there, shielding that too.
Right.
But I still feel like Vader was the conduit to which he would have felt that, so Vader was able to shield it. Vader wouldn't be able to shield a connection from, you know, Palpatine to Luke, but he would be able to shield a connection to where he was the middle point. Follow?
I think so.
So if it was a direct line for Palpatine to feel Luke's presence and know who he was, if it was a direct line between Palpatine and Luke, Vader wouldn't be able to shield that.
Right.
But since Vader would be the conduit there in which the Emperor would use Vader to feel that presence.
Yeah, gotcha.
So Vader being a conduit, he can shield that from the Emperor.
Right.
And that's why he's saying, strange that I have not. You must be hiding it.
Right, yeah. You're hiding something from me. Gotcha.
Yeah. It was accusatory.
Yes.
It wasn't like, oh, that's weird.
I love.
Like, how do you have that power? It's him shielding him.
All of this dialogue and everything, everything about Star Wars in this way, it's you can always get your own take from it. It's like, God, you know.
Yeah, I always thought that was accusatory, right? Like,
right.
Like the way he said, "Strange that I have not." He said that like, really, dude?
Yeah.
You're hiding that from me? I thought we were friends, you know, like.
I thought we were friends.
But yeah, I always felt that line was accusatory. It wasn't, oh, that's strange. It was, strange.
Yeah, gotcha. You know, it's funny because, you know, well, I don't know. My first interpretation of that, you know, I was, you know, what, 9? I don't know, 8 or 9, something like that. So I probably wasn't picking up on all of that at the time, you know. And
well, I mean,
and still, yeah, I know you saw it young too, but
yeah, when I say that's the way I felt it, that's once I was at the age where I started piecing together pieces of dialogue in Star Wars. That's when I felt that way,
right.
Not when I saw it the first time at, 8 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
When I was 8 years old, I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
They got laser swords.
And I still get a little bit of that feeling every time I get to watch these films. So, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see where that's, and this is concept art. But
Oh yeah.
you know, it'll be interesting to see where they will cross blades.
Yes.
I mean, we could be completely off, and it's only fiery because this is some kind of forge in a factory somewhere. Like,
Right. It could very well be something like that.
and the reason it's so fiery is because Obi-Wan just blew up this Imperial shipyard.
You know, there's that. And so, you know, there's also the thought, and I'm not the first to say this, but this is going back to the Vader line of "you shouldn't have come back." Maybe that's Obi-Wan's attempt to destroy the Death Star.
Mm.
You know?
Uh-huh.
But,
And I should say, this is Obi-Wan distracting Vader while Ahsoka blows up the shipyard.
oh, yeah. Yeah,
Is that'd be cool.
that'd be cool.
All right. So another thing that stuck out to me, we
Yeah.
talked about the casting rumors, what characters certain individuals are going to be playing,
Right?
highlighted around Inquisitors.
Yes.
Well, we see one.
Yes.
Now,
Go ahead.
I understand this is a far out shot,
Right.
but this looks like a female Inquisitor.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'm getting Seventh Sister vibes.
Yep.
More than Fifth Brother or anything like that. You know, not to say that they, you know, have to. Every Inquisitor has to resemble what we've seen already, but that's definitely the vibes I'm getting.
Yeah, I do wonder, and I only say this because, and I only say it resembles a female Inquisitor, just the tall and slender, right? Like,
Right.
I could be completely off base. It could be a tall and slender male Inquisitor, like,
Right.
but the vibes I get from this image is, you know, Seventh Sister vibes, or what's the other one? The one from Fallen Order. Why is it slipping my mind? Also female.
Sorry.
Oh. The second sister? Think it was?
May very well have been. I'm not sure.
But yeah, those are the vibes I get.
Yeah, totally. But if this is any indication, it definitely means we're getting some Inquisitors for sure.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm pulling up second sister images here.
Yep.
That could be the second sister.
Aha. And that.
Trying to see some images of the second sister next to a stormtrooper,
Oh, I see.
just to gauge height.
Right.
The seventh sister I felt like was shorter.
Yep. Kind of felt that way from the show Rebels. Yep.
Oh come on, there's got to be one next. Yes. Yes, taller than the stormtrooper in this image.
Oh, okay.
Might be the second sister.
Interesting.
Taller than Cal.
Okay. Well, it's gonna definitely be cool to see some Inquisitors in live action.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just trying to pin down who it is.
Well, you know, this is the kind of thing that we can do. We can study these images and make our assessments just like you're doing here live.
Yeah. Yeah, wasting time.
But
You can say it.
hey, I don't think it's a waste of time.
Right.
I'm just thinking this is something that everyone can do.
But yeah, we do see some other not Tatooine images.
Right. So we see what appears to be like the underworld of Coruscant, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's another one that I'm not sure where that's at. Almost looks like a banquet type hall scenario or something like that. Not sure. Just another building facade. And
Which one are you talking about? Banquet hall, like
well, something
the real yellowish
yes
image. Okay.
Yeah. I just get that vibe from, people outside of it and stuff. I don't know. Like there might be something going on. But the one I have to say with the big windows and all that, it reminds me of the Jedi Temple. And there's like stormtroopers everywhere. It's like, ooh, I wonder if that's what that is, and that's ooh,
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. Like, is this a Jedi Temple with the Imperial reconstruction? And
right.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Those windows, just like, how many buildings have windows like that?
Right, exactly. It just gives Jedi Temple vibes. Like every time we saw the Jedi Temple in the movies, it's all bright and sunny and all that. This is very gloomy looking, right? But the hallway's filled with stormtroopers, so of course it'd be gloomy,
Yeah, and I feel like the stuff out on the outside of the windows, that green hue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they just did that just so you don't see the Coruscant skyline.
Right.
But I mean, it could be something else.
It could be. But it's got that kind of vibe, Maybe
it's green like that because it's underwater on Mount Cal or something.
Oh, that's definitely a possibility. I didn't even think about that. That's, yeah. Could totally be underwater. I don't know. It definitely, these stormtroopers too, they just look like they're going about like daily business. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it doesn't appear as though it's like an occupation force. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like we've been here for a while and we are secure in, just kind of like policing the area,
Right.
Not necessarily, trying to take over right now.
Right. All right. So this other image, we see some T-47 speeders.
Right. Snow speeders.
Doesn't look so snowy.
It doesn't look snowy at all. But it's something that always kind of like, tripped me up as a kid, right? These are snow speeders. They're having trouble adapting them to the cold? What?
They're warm weather snow speeders.
Oh, of course. That makes sense.
Warmer weather snow speeders.
Right.
Like Hoth was just that bad.
There you go.
Nope, just speeders.
But
just speeders.
That is definitely what they are, which I gotta say, if we get to see those, I as far as like small fighters, those were one of my favorites as a kid. For whatever reason, I dug those. So, we get to see those in action again, I will be thrilled.
Well, I think you're going to get to see those in action again.
It's the way it looks.
I mean, if you don't, that's just...
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst tease ever.
Exactly.
Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 6 of them in the damn picture.
Right.
Like, that's not showing 1 like it might be there. There's 6.
Exactly.
Like, just by percentage, we should at least see 2. So, yeah. I thought that was cool.
Definitely.
All these are very cool. Would have loved to have seen some set shots or footage.
Yeah, like something that's actually been filmed. Yeah, I'm with you there.
Like, even if you want to leave Obi-Wan out of it,
Exactly.
just some landscapes, right? Like,
Right. A camera panning across the set. That'd have been awesome.
you know, Vader's castle isn't a secret. They could have showed that.
Right. Yeah. 'Cause- Yeah. Show us the stuff that we've seen before, because we've seen it before. It's not going to be a surprise, you know?
Right.
I mean, it might be a surprise that we're going there, but, you know.
I mean, and if you're going to go so far as to show concept art of an Inquisitor,
Right.
Man. 5 seconds of a live action Inquisitor,
Exactly.
talk about into a froth, right? Like,
Yeah. No doubt. Of course, then, you know.
I mean, look what the image did.
Yeah.
I went off on a tangent,
Totally.
trying to figure out which one it was.
Yeah. But then, you know, they had the whole
Like,
thing
there's
where...
only like a dozen of them, and we can pin it down.
Thing is, we had the whole thing where Jason Isaacs was denying, you know, participation and all that. But, you know.
Right. That's not the Grand Inquisitor. That's...
No. Definitely not. But
Does it look like Jason Isaacs? No, it doesn't look like Jason Isaacs.
no.
It's a drawing. Like,
Oh, so true.
this is another thing I didn't comment on. Is this a new ship?
It's reminiscent of all kinds of things. It kind of reminds me, I don't want to say, it's got the really angular design to it, right? It reminds me of the way Krennic's ship looked, as opposed to like the Tidarian shuttle and stuff from Jedi. But I believe this might have been in a video game or something very similar, if my memory's serving me correctly. But I can't say for sure.
It could be. It could be. Like, it's so reminiscent that I feel like I've seen it before.
Right.
But at the same time, I was like, is that new?
The thing is, it's got new, like, design elements, but, you know, they brought the familiar in as well, so, which, you know, they're really good at doing, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely got the look of, like, the shuttles, but it's like a cross between, like, a fighter and a shuttle.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's like light duty kind of thing.
Yeah, which is fine, because, you know, how many different kinds of ships do you think are out there? There's got to be millions, right?
Exactly. Right. We can't survive only on X-Wings, TIE Fighters, and YT-1300s, right?
Right. Yep, absolutely. All right. Moving on to the last thing.
Uh-oh.
Last week we talked about delays for Rogue Squadron.
Yes.
And it was rumored last week that it was scheduling conflicts.
Yes.
Well, as the week went on, that morphed and started seeing more and more articles referring to creative differences.
The classic Hollywood term.
Yes. Yes. But there's a difference here, right? Like, a scheduling conflict makes you feel like, okay, it's a delay.
Right.
Creative differences makes you feel like, okay, maybe it's a delay, but it's a delay while they find a new director.
Exactly. That's exactly what it makes you feel like. It makes you feel like this whole thing might not even happen anymore.
Yeah, and that's the way. That's my fear right now.
Right.
Is that, here we finally get a announcement of a Rogue Squadron film.
Yep.
And whether it's going to be the original Rogue Squadron or a continuation of Rogue Squadron, right?
Yep.
That's potentially being shelved and, just going to go into the closet over there at Lucasfilm and die with Detours and
Underworld
and
13. Yep. Exactly.
Just going to go into the vault of stuff we started working on and just quit.
Yep.
So what do you make of this? There's a lot of, what's the term I'm looking for? Like assumptions here.
Sure.
There's a lot of assumptions that, it's, and I think the real thing that really kind of throws a flag on this maybe not being true is the use of kind of like the buzz phrases of late when, talking smack about Disney Lucasfilm.
Okay.
Like this micromanagement and plot point by committee. Okay.
Yeah.
This is kind of a in vogue thing to say about the way they're doing things.
Well,
and it's not necessarily coming from creatives. It's coming from disgruntled fans, coming from, disgruntled employees.
Okay. You say disgruntled fans and disgruntled employees, but, it's one of those things. It's like when you start hearing it enough, you start to wonder if there isn't a grain of truth to it, Right.
I'm not saying that it's necessarily false.
Right.
But I'm just saying, does this raise a flag that maybe this could be part of that just disgruntled group?
Well,
because this is a popular thing to say. This when I see the by committee,
right,
that raises a flag for me that, okay, yeah, while this by committee thing may be absolutely true, but when you use it when talking in a negative light about something that's happening, it raises a flag for me.
Okay. So, all right, I want to read this portion here. This is reports that the delay is due to creative differences rather than any scheduling conflicts. Bellany suggests the director came into conflict with the studio over the film's script and states that Jenkins was unwilling to, quote, dick around, unquote. So, those are kind of direct words. You know what I mean?
So they quoted that.
Yes.
So
yes.
They are, well, that's bold to say that she said that.
Right. So, I mean, it's I
and now I'll say that term, the terminology she used there, if they're quoting that, could also be referring to scheduling.
Well,
like, look, I need a hard date.
Well,
I got this other thing I want to do. I don't want to play games with, we're going to shoot it here, or we're going to shoot it there, we're going to shoot it here. Like,
okay.
There's a lot of things that could mean.
So, you mentioned the plot point by committee, right?
Yep.
this guy Bellany goes on to say, top filmmakers are dying to make a Star Wars movie until they sign on and experience the micromanagement and plot point by committee process. Jenkins wasn't willing to dick around, and she has other projects, notably Wonder Woman 3 at Warner Brothers, where she enjoys more creative freedom.
Okay, so doubling down on it.
Right.
That it's about being able to put forward what you want to put forward.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's pretty clear that it's, specifically with Wonder Woman, she's pretty much able to make the movies that she wanted to make, which I have to say, Wonder Woman was freaking amazing, Yeah.
Fabulous movie.
Wonder Woman 84 was good. It wasn't to the same level as the first one, in my opinion. So, but
lightning in a bottle, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's interesting.
But it's funny that it just seems to be happening with a lot of the the creatives here. We heard similar things about Benioff and Weiss and stuff. I just,
and I mean, Bellany here goes on to say that this is kind of the same thing that's going on with Rian Johnson. And this is why you heard Mum on the Rian Johnson trilogy.
Right.
That it's creative differences. And I guess he's insinuating here that Rian Johnson's like, oh yeah, we're still working on it. He's kind of insinuating that Rian Johnson's like, oh, we'll work out our differences. Like,
yeah. Well, of any of the the film creators who have signed on and been let go and or parted ways, he is the one who I would say is probably most willing to do that, to kind of work it out. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of get that impression from him.
I mean, I feel like he just might be stubborn enough to hold on to where he gets what he wants. Instead of bailing, like, okay, fine, screw you. He just be like, okay, let's talk it out.
Yeah.
No, I still want this. No, I still want this. Like, I feel like he might be the one that's going to hold on until they relent.
It's possible. That's possible. So,
I mean, just look at the way he composes himself elsewhere, right? Like, he does what he wants to do.
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And he claims it. He doesn't, like, when, the negative feedback comes in, he doesn't go, oh, well, that was because of this, or that was, he's like, that was me. I own it.
Right.
I liked it. I think it's the way it should have went.
Yeah.
He basically says, if you disagree, you go write it.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's admirable. He sticks to his guns.
Right.
So I don't know. I this is unnerving though. This is the first of the feature films that are supposed to be coming down the list here.
Right.
And it's seeing problems.
Exactly.
I mean, and it's only the first because the Rian Johnson one's been delayed into oblivion, apparently.
Right.
Without saying anything about it. And that's the other thing that makes me think he's holding on, because they ain't saying crap.
Right. So I was having a thought here. Do you think that this is a result of, like, Disney brass or shareholders or somebody, let's use the what do you call them, the terms that we hear sometimes from executives, right? Like, maybe the movies that these creators are wanting to make aren't quote unquote on brand or something. You know, you think it might be that sort of a thing to where Patty Jenkins wanted to make a certain type of Star Wars movie, and they said, well, that doesn't really fit with what we want Disney Star Wars to be. You know?
Yeah, but I don't know what they want Disney Star Wars to be.
Well, I mean, I would question, do they know what they want Disney Star Wars to be?
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going with that. Like,
right.
I think maybe you're right. Like, but at the same time, one of these guys has an installment in that on-brand Disney Star Wars.
Oh, as far as Rian
Johnson.
Yeah.
You know, he's got The Last Jedi, which was probably the most, especially from the Lucasfilm brass, the most praised of the
sequels.
of
Yeah.
the films. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I wonder sometimes because it's Disney, right? And
I mean, is there that would just beg the question, has there been a shift in what they feel they want, in where they feel they want Star Wars to head?
Well,
that would be the big thing. Like, they established the direction they wanted to go, and now they want to shift away from that. And that is what, like, these people all signed on expecting to go a certain direction.
So let me explain kind of where I'm coming from, right? Something that we heard for years, right, is people wanting to do this, for lack of a better term, darker Star Wars. And I just wonder if people are coming in thinking they're going to do that, and Disney's like, "Whoa, you're not going to do that." And they're like, "Oh, okay, well, cool, I'm out," you know.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, I'm on the side of Disney on this one.
And you know, everyone's going to have their place where they stand on that subject, but I'm just wondering if it's that sort of thing where they think, okay, I'm going to have the creative freedom to do what I want, and they get in there and it's like, oh, well, no, you're not going to do that. So it's like, oh, well, then.
Well, that's the one thing I'm like, I don't know. It could be, but at the same time, I look at where the High Republic's headed. Right? And to me, the High Republic, series of novels would be a precursor potentially to where Disney wants to head. Because this is their era of Star Wars that they're establishing.
Okay.
I would argue that the High Republic is a darker era of Star Wars, which is odd because they call it the High Republic.
Yeah.
But I would argue it's a darker era of Star Wars. There is so much death.
Okay.
Like, so much death, and like drawn out.
Oh, really?
It's not like blowing up Alderaan and like you presume a bunch of people just died.
Gotcha.
It's going to a fair, and these outlaws attack and slowly kill a bunch of people.
Wow. Okay.
It's like a systematic ground assault that ends up in a lot of death.
Huh.
It's like an asteroid event that like takes place all around the galaxy. Asteroid, or I think it's wreckage, really. Space projectiles, right? Like,
right.
And it ends up in, millions of deaths. So I would argue it's a darker era of Star Wars, and this is Disney's stamp, right?
Right. It is.
So I don't know if this is the reason. Like, these people want to do a darker Star Wars.
I mean,
it doesn't line up.
Yeah, I guess we're getting hung up on the because I had that thought because a lot of people have said that in the past, darker, whatever, more adult, more whatever.
Yeah, there's been this clamoring for that.
Yeah,
I think that's
but they're going in with an idea of what they want to do, and I think they're getting told no. We have to appeal to younger audiences. We have to appeal to, this type of fan or that type of fan, and who knows? It could be something like that, because this micromanaged plot point by plot point or whatever is, it kind of lends itself to, to me coming to that conclusion anyway.
Well,
speculation.
It's reasonable. It's reasonable.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with that. It's possible. It could be not on brand.
Right. I mean, this is Disney we're talking about, right? This is the Disney Princess Company, It's, I think there's got to be a certain level of what's the word I'm looking for, but tameness to everything. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you can blow up a planet, but you're not seeing all that go down. In a book, you can make it much more, what's the word you used?
Systematic.
I guess. Yeah. Slower, systematic, more descriptive, but it is Disney. We got to remember that.
Yeah. I'm talking like, the High Republic's got these marauders, right? Attacking this gathering. And, they're using poison gas.
Right.
And they're wearing respirators and stuff so they can walk through this gas, and people are being debilitated and they're being wiped out.
Wow.
By these people that can move through the gas.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Arguably darker, right?
Yeah, for sure. But again, I'm not sure that you're going to see something like that in a movie.
No, you're dealing with differences in audience, right? Your market for a feature film is much broader than a novel or even a limited TV series.
At least they're hoping so, right? They're hoping to appeal to a much broader audience for a film because they're going to put a lot of money into it and they're going to want to recoup that, Well,
I think the numbers just prove that, right?
Yeah.
Like, the numbers for feature films are outrageous. I mean, people can say all they want about how much they dislike The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. The numbers are insane.
Right.
They all did fabulously at the box office. The one exception being Solo.
Right.
And it could just be them being gun shy because of Solo. Like, we don't want it to feel detached or, whatever.
Well, yeah. It's funny you say that because I got a feeling that, you say detached. I think the days of, trilogies are done. I think everything's got to fit together, but I think it's, everything's going to pretty much be kind of a one-off moving forward.
And in all honesty, that could be the creative difference with Rian Johnson, right?
It could be.
Yeah, we're done doing trilogies. Like, whoa.
Yeah. I get 3. Yeah.
Got 3. You said it.
Yes.
No takesies backsies.
Exactly. That very well could be it.
Huh. Interesting thoughts.
I don't know. There's got to be, and I have no idea what, but there's got to be something to this. I think we're hearing it enough from sources that are probably close enough to the matter, we'll just put it that way.
That's totally good for reporting.
Yeah,
no, they might be.
But I'm just saying, I don't think everyone's just guessing. I think after.
Oh man, have you read how they preface these articles and stuff? Like sources, thought to be close to the matter.
Right? Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I think
the intros totally cover your ass. Like, yeah, we think they're good.
I think we're just hearing this enough times now to where it's like, okay, there might actually be something to this.
Oh, I definitely think there's something here, right? Like,
yeah, it's definitely not what some, we'll say, YouTubers and other podcasters are implying that it is. It's definitely not that bad, but it's probably worse than like Lucasfilm would like lead us on to believe, so.
Jack, so.
Huh?
I said, well, they ain't saying Jack, so.
Right. Well, there you go. So.
I mean, I think it would be in their best interest to say something.
Certainly.
If there's a delay for scheduling, you should just come out and say it.
Yes, absolutely.
If you have to part ways for creative differences, own it. Separate. Say it.
Right. Of course, you always got to worry about that stock price, buddy.
Yeah, there's that.
Yes.
I guess you should probably make sure you have an ace in the hole before you say it.
Exactly. Yep. And here's how we're going to fix this. Yes.
I do think, though, that if it was a Rian Johnson creative differences thing at this point in the game, it would have been said a while ago. It's my personal opinion.
Maybe.
I mean, because that was the first one announced. Like, it's...
Yeah, he wasn't done with his movie yet.
Yeah, and he's doing more.
Right.
So, you would think if there were any cancellations because of, this kind of stuff, that would have been the first on the block.
Right.
So, I don't. Interesting to think about. I'm
Definitely.
sure this is something we'll revisit.
Oh, I'm sure. There'll be more coming out about it, and when it does, we'll be here to give everyone our thoughts.
Whether you want it or not.
That's right.
Well, all right. If you have anything to add to the conversation, you can always email us, show@thewarsandmore.com. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We're also on social media, at The Wars and More on Twitter, facebook.com/thewarsandmore. You can find all that and all the ways to find the show over at thewarsandmore.com. Any final thoughts this week, Doug?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. We will talk next week.